DebziesDelight. In today's video, I'm going to show you one of my secret recipes which I love so much. You can call it egusi infused cabbage stew, or in my native language would say akatoa cabbagestew. What is cabbage in tree? I have no idea, but yeah, I'm just going to show you. It's a simple recipe, but it's delicious. You can have it with yam, with rice, with gari, with anything you want, you name it. Before we start cooking, let's do the norm. If you're new on this channel, I warmly welcome you. If you haven't subscribed, kindly click on the subscription button. It's totally free to do so, as well as the little bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever I post a new video. If you are returning, as always, welcome back. Let's get straight into cooking.
As displayed on your screen, these are the ingredients you need. You definitely need your cabbage. I've got my mushrooms, which is totally optional. These are shiitake mushrooms, which I love so much. I've got my assorted meat. You can use any meat of your choice, and my mackerel fish, my sunflower oil, my green bell pepper, fresh tomatoes, white and red onions, my carrots, salted fish, scotch bonnet pepper, my pointed pepper, plum tomato, my egusi, my seasoning, which is a shrimp cube, nketenkete and black pepper, and my salt. I'll begin by cooking my cow skin first, as it has a longer cooking time. While that is on fire, I'll prep my meat for cooking as well. The cow skin is a bit tenderized now. I'll drain the water I used to cook it and add the rest of the meat for cooking. I'll go ahead and add my spices. That's my aniseed, a bit of the shrimp seasoning, black pepper and salt. The onion, garlic and ginger blend is a regular part of my cooking, so I always keep some in the fridge when I have excess. And this particular one had cloves in it as well. In a separate bowl, I'll cook my seafood, so that's the shiitake mushrooms and the fish, and I'm adding the spices as usual. A bit of water to cook. Once the meat comes to a boil, I'll give it a quick stir to make sure it marries well with the seasoning and the ginger blend mix. I'll do the same with the fish. I don't let the fish cook for a long time, or else it will tear apart. So it's actually ready now. I'll go ahead and prep my vegetables for the stew, just like so. I love it when I'm cutting my vegetables. It gives me so much joy. I love the colors. You know how you get to cut it into any shape and size you want. At this point, I'm cutting my tomatoes, but I'm going to take out the seeds of the tomatoes. I know others prefer to throw it out, but I blend it with my plum tomatoes and my pointed peppers. So this is totally optional. If you don't want to keep it, you don't have to, okay? So the veggies are prepped and ready, and look at the colors, so beautiful. I'll go ahead and check on the meat now, and at this point it is ready. Just stick your hand on it like so, and if it's tender to your preferred tenderness, it's ready. Now I'm washing the cabbage before I begin to cut. So I'll cut the head off like that. You don't need it in the stew. And yes, family, whenever I'm cooking, I use a bag just like the one I have there to take out all the waste I do not want, so that you don't get all the foul smell in your kitchen once you transfer it to your bin. Make sure to cut the core of the cabbage, the hard part. You do not need that in your stew, so make sure you cut it off, yes, and throw it away, okay? Cut the cabbage to your preferred size. I prefer medium to small size. After chopping, I'll wash it again with salt and vinegar and the running water twice to get rid of any bacteria that might be residing in the cabbage. I'll repeat it to ensure a thorough rinse. I'll transfer the cabbage into a strainer to get rid of the excess water to prevent your stew from being soggy. The offcast I put in the bag is going safely into the bin. Look at the colors, guys. I love to match all the colors and the ingredients like so. So I just deboned my fish. I'm adding my salted fish and my mushrooms, and voila, I've got all the ingredients lined up. When I'm cooking and I see this, it gives me so much joy, I'm like, okay, it's all done. All we need to do now is just to pour it all in there. In a hot pan, I've added my sunflower oil. Again, I've got excess of the ginger blend mix. I'll heap 2 tablespoonfuls of it and add to the hot oil. In goes my salted fish as well. I'll give it a quick stir around, and after about 1 minute of frying, I'll go ahead and add my onions. I don't add all of it, I add half of it. I'll give it a quick stir again and add my nutmeg. I always start my stews with some nutmeg as it gives it a lot of flavor. Just a pinch of it goes a long way. So I add half of the fish I boiled, and I'll add in the half later. After stirring it around and allowing it to fry for about 5 minutes, I'll go ahead and add my blended tomatoes and the fresh ones, cover it and allow it to cook for about 10 minutes more. I'll give it a quick stir. Make sure you stir it intermittently, okay? Next, I'll make my egusi into a paste by adding in some water until I get a thicker consistency like that, okay? After about 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and adjust the salt, but make sure you taste it before you adjust it, okay? I'm adding my egusi like so, and I'll give it a little jiggle and allow it to cook for the next 5 minutes. I'll adjust the heat to medium-low heat, and after 5 minutes, I'll come back and give it a little jiggle again, but make sure you stir it really gently, not mixing the egusi too much. It's totally optional. You can stir it around completely, but I prefer to leave the bits in until later. I'll allow it to cook again for another 10 minutes, stirring it intermittently, and once it becomes flaky, like so, I'll go ahead and add my meat. The stock solidified around the meat, so I've got the stock in the meat as well. It's just solidified, okay? So make sure to add the stock at this point as well. So I'll give it a quick stir again and allow it to cook for another 10 minutes again, stirring it intermittently. After 10 minutes, I'll adjust the salt and add the rest of my shrimp seasoning cube. Add in my carrots and stir it around to make sure it marries with the base of the stew. Now you can use any seasoning and whatever amount you like, but I prefer to stick to a little amount of seasoning, and I get the best taste as well. After a total of 10 minutes and intermittent stirring, I'll go ahead and add in my cabbage and stir it to make sure it marries again with the rest of the base of the stew. After about 3 minutes of cooking, I'll go ahead and add my chopped green bell pepper and my onion, my seafood, that's my mushrooms, and the rest of the fish, and give it a quick stir again and allow it to cook for about 15 minutes, well, 10 to 15 minutes, stirring it intermittently until it softens to your desired softness or crunchiness. I know some people prefer boiling their cabbage before cooking it again, but I do not do that. I like the crunchiness that comes with it when I fry it raw. And after about a total of 15 minutes of cooking, our egusi cabbage stew is ready, and look at the colors. It is so amazing, and the smell here, oh, it's heavenly. Yes, so I've got the crunchiness I need.
Guys, the stew is as good as done, and it's time to taste. Look at that. So I've got my little rice here. I'm going to pair that with my egusi akatoa cabbage stew. Okay, let's go in. Amazing. Perfection. This is really good. Please try this recipe and you thank me later. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Before we go, I love you all, but God loves you most. Bye for now.